All right, folks, everybody likes a little drama. I don't, I like boring. But all you guys like drama. You know what, one of these days we're gonna let you see what this looks like. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 lights plus lights here on. We got lights on everything. Well, I'm gonna shine a little light today too. We're gonna shine a little light in the corner here and see what the dirty little secrets of foundation repair look like. Everything every foundation repair guy don't want to talk about. So stick around, grab a bucket of popcorn. Let's start off kind of boring like. These are things that are maybe not mean, they may not mean a whole lot or they might not be dramatic, but let's talk about some of the boring things before we get into some of the exciting things. So, and I don't know how exciting this is going to be, but I mean, this is good information. I think you as a consumer need to know this. And you know, I'm going to piss some people off in the industry if they see this video, but I really don't give a shit. Because here's the thing, I'm not here to do right by my competitors or my colleagues. I'm here to do right by y'all. And like I said, shine a little spotlight on some of them dark corners that maybe some of our colleagues or competitors may not want you to know. So first thing first, licensure. I've talked about this in other videos, so we'll keep it short. There is no such thing as a foundation repair license. So in their marketing stuff or when they talk to you, oh, we're licensed and insured. But what are you licensed in? I mean, I got a driver's license, but I don't have a foundation repair license. I don't have a structural repair license. That just doesn't exist. So let's just get that one out of the way. Insurance. You know, when they say insured and bonded, you can have insurance on anything. You get car insurance, well, you're insured. Something that I see a lot of companies do is when they go and get an insurance policy, we're doing structural repairs. It's a risky job. Let's call a spade a spade. When we raise or move a structure, that's much riskier than doing just some leveling, but there is an elevated sense of risk. Let's just put it this way. If I'm mowing your grass or I'm painting a wall or I'm trimming hedges, there's pretty low risk, right? Trimming trees is high risk. Doing a foundation repair job is kind of high risk. Hell, even doing a roof job, I mean, it's not that risky in the grand scheme of things. As long as you tape everything off, I mean, you got the shingles and stuff flying off the roof. It's not quite as risky as foundation repair, I think. So, you know, some of these companies might go get an insurance policy, but ask them what their deck page says. You know, are they actually insured to do foundation repair work? Because guess what? If they have insurance and they're general construction or handyman services, because you know that was $3,000 a year for the policy versus my $25,000 a year I got to pay for an insurance policy. Yeah, they might be insured, they might have $1 million policy limit, but if the minute the insurance company finds out they're doing foundation repair work, they may deny that claim. And guess who's holding the bag? You. You get a lot of companies that say, we use a proprietary system and this and that and the other. Guess what? We all buy material at the same watering hole. You know, when I ride into Best Block. Now, Best Block has come in and bought everybody up. I mean, we had Western Brick, we had Headwaters, was one of the biggest material manufacturers in the Houston area for foundation repair cylinders and all that. Then you had IPC. Now, IPC had a little bit to do with one of the foundation companies, and I don't want to call anybody out by name, but I'm going to tip my hat to the man that did this. They developed a system. They wanted to get their teeth sunk into the manufacturing process so they could manufacture their own product. And guess what? I mean, they couldn't afford to keep that big old manufacturing facility open just by making themselves the exclusive customer, so they sold to the public. You can go into IPC on Synot Road and go buy foundation repair cylinders that all the rest of us go buy. If you're in the Sugar Land area, you might have seen it. They sell pavers and they sell some other stuff, but they sell foundation repair material too. Matter of fact, they manufacture it there. The old Headwaters plant on Highway 90 and Beaumont Highway, they manufacture their own cylinders, and you know, they build them right there. You had SCP that was out in Alleyton, Southern Concrete Products. They're in Alleyton, west of Houston on the interstate. If you've ever driven from Houston to San Antonio on I-10, they're on the south side of the highway in a little town called Alleyton, and they manufacture cylinders. All of those companies have been bought up by a big conglomerate called Best Block. And so it doesn't matter if I go in the old Headwater shop or if I go into the IPC or SCP, if I walk into Western Brick, if I walk into any one of these shops, they're all owned by Best Block. And look, I'll buy steel components from 2000 Industries because they're the only ones in Houston. Well, I guess IPC sells steel segments too, but they're high. Man, they're real expensive. I'm gonna go buy steel, I'm gonna go buy it from 2000. And 2000 Industries, The 2000 boys and girls might be a little mad at me for telling you this, but I really don't care. Guess what? When you roll in to go buy a pallet of cylinders at 2000 Industries, you didn't have enough on your truck to finish the job, and it was 2000 was 10 minutes from you, and the shop is 40 minutes from you, and it was just cheaper, faster, and easier to go buy you a pallet. Those are best block cylinders at 2000 Industries. So you've only got a couple of material suppliers, right? And you've only really got one company now that manufactures typical foundation repair materials. You've got one parent company, they've got several locations. I buy from them, and just about everybody else in the phone book buys from them too. So matter of fact, we bump into each other all the time at the yards. Obviously the corporate guys don't, but I mean, if you got a crew, if you got Jose and Julio that work for two different companies, chances are they're gonna bump into each other at the yard while they're buying material at some point. So, for somebody to go, hey, this concrete cylinder is a exclusive blah, 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 it's bullshit. We all buy it from the same place. So when they talk about their materials being better than somebody else's, it's all smoke and mirrors. The next thing is, let's get into a little more spicy stuff, some stuff that you are probably gonna run into. When you call some foundation repair company, 123 XYZ, ABC, whatever, the guy that goes, ding dong, hi, my name is, they are likely, 99% of them. I mean, I haven't met another company that operates the way that we do. And this is what I love about being here. I haven't met another company in the industry that gives their salespeople a base pay, a base salary. And so we looked at it and we figured, hey, we don't want our guys out there hustling. We want them to work. We want them to work hard. We want them to work smart. But we don't want them out there tap dancing, putting on a show. We like the steak to go with our sizzle, okay? And so we don't want our guys out there stressed out because they're on 100% commission and they got a house payment and one of their kids broke an arm or something happened and they got to come up with some money. So they got to sell something today. 99% of the companies out there, 99% of the time when you call such and such foundation repair and somebody rings the doorbell, that guy is likely going to be on a commission scale. And the problem with that, it's not necessarily a bad thing if the guy that rings the doorbell is honest, if he's got some integrity to him. And I know a bunch of them that do. There are some friends of mine that are salespeople at other companies that don't work for us. Those guys are legit. I would leave $10,000 in $1 bills in front of them, and I'd know that they wouldn't touch it unless it fell off the table, and they'd touch it and put it back on the table. But that's not everybody. And so when you have somebody that's a commission drive salesperson, you eat what you kill. If you don't sell, you don't get paid. If you don't get paid, now what? We all got to get paid. That's why we're doing this. I like doing this kind of work, but guess what? If I couldn't support my family on it, I wouldn't be doing it. So I'd be going to do something else. I'd be flipping hamburgers or something. I don't know. I'd be doing something else to go get paid. When somebody goes, ding dong, hi, I'm so-and-so from such and such foundation company, you go to do the sit down at the kitchen table, the hell with it. Ask them, what's your commission rate? See how that works. So let's tell the funny story, right? So I was young, foreman, working for a very small company at the time. They're a little bit bigger now, but at the time it was a one-man shop, and we were working out of this guy's garage, and he didn't have very much money at the time. Matter of fact, he paid me with a set of chrome wheels one day because he didn't have money to pay me my week's worth of work. He didn't pay his guys once. So what did the guys do? They went somewhere else. They had families to feed and rent to pay and all that. And so they packed up and took off. So I looked at him and I said, hey, boss man, we got this job. I don't know, it's 10 or 12 piling, something. It's an easy job. I go, are you coming with me? We're going to do this as you and me? I mean, what are we going to do? He goes, no. This is Mr. Big Shot, right? He wouldn't go out there and go do the job. That was my job. So he goes, you're going to have to go find some guys. I said, well, shit, okay. Well, I don't know where I'm going to go find some guys. So I start calling. They go, F that. We're not going back to work for that guy. He didn't pay us. It was 2 weeks. He didn't pay us. Okay. So I'm going, well, you got any friends? And I'm not telling my friends go over there because he ain't going to pay them either. So what did I do? Ride down the old Home Depot, roll that window down. I need 3 guys. And then as soon as they heard foundation repair, they scattered like roaches when the light comes on. And finally, soon enough, after 1 or 2 Home Depot trips, I found 3 guys to go with me, go do this job. So I show up at the job site at 10 o'clock in the damn morning because I spent from 6:30 till about 9:30 finding 3 guys that were willing to go dig holes with me. And a 10 piling or 12 piling job that takes 1 day with a good crew took me 3 damn days to do. And I'd do the vast majority of it. Matter of fact, the only thing that they were worth doing was helping me run jacks, helping me drive shims, and helped me clean the job up, which by the time it was on day 3 and it was time to clean that job up, I said, you guys clean that fucking job up. I'm so wore out. I'm sitting in the truck in the AC because I did all the work by myself. And so that one was okay because I was there doing the entire job by myself and they were literally just helping hands. Let's face it, this is hard work. And, you know, finding guys that are willing to do hard back-breaking labor, and I got the broke back to prove it, is tough to do. So, you know, a lot of these guys use subcontractors or day laborers and things like that, and that's attractive because if you use a day laborer that may or may not be legit, you know, some of these guys will go, oh, that guy blew out a back and it's not my problem because I was paying him, you know, a couple dollars a day to come here and work for us. And so you got to ask yourself, you know, do y'all have your own employees or do you just ride down to the good old Home Depot and go pick a few guys up? And I've done that one time in my life, and that's the first and the last time I've ever done it, or I'll ever do it. So, you know, the employee pool in a very tough job like this can be kind of slim. And so, you know, we've been blessed to find good, solid employees that work directly for us, right? They're not some guy that was doing a fence yesterday, they're doing a foundation repair job today, and they're putting on a roof tomorrow. You know, that's another thing. It's a little pet peeve of mine. Do you want your proctologist doing your dental work? They're both doctors, right? Well, you know, I don't. You know, might not know where that guy's fingers have been. But when you have a company that offers foundation repair, roofing, fences, landscaping, concrete driveways, when they do all of it, chances are they're not specialists. And because, going back to the first thing I said, ain't no licensing and there's no real, I mean, you can go buy a truck and some tools and Monday morning you're in foundation repair business. You get a lot of Jake legs that say they're experts and they're really not. The next thing, let's go back to the sales guy that was commission-based. Ask that dude, how do you file your taxes? A lot of those guys are 1099 contractors, you know, and that's something that a lot of these foundation companies have gone to, are 1099 contractors. Look, I get it. I understand. It's easier on an accounting basis to cut that dude a check, 1099 him, and let that be his problem. But the problem is, a 1099 contractor, you don't have very much control over. You got to kind of let that dude go do his thing. You may or may not be getting the quality control that you think you're getting. And so, shoot, ask them, how do you file your taxes every year? And look, I'm not saying that using a 1099 salesperson is a bad thing. I just think it's a little flighty. So, you know, every year, guess what? We hand out W-2s just like Walmart does. All right, look. I've blown the whistle for long enough. I'm a little winded and, you know, I don't know if you want to pay any more attention to this. I got 101 stories to talk about and I don't want to make this a documentary, okay? So this isn't the Discovery Channel here. This is YouTube. And if you've had foundation estimates or experience with foundation repair companies and maybe they were less than favorable, drop them in the comment section below. And look, don't go call out XYZ foundation company. Please, this is not what I'm doing. I'm not singling anybody out. I'm just starting a conversation. You know, if you've had an experience where the sales guy was, you know, crazier than Wile E. Coyote, or maybe the guys that came out, I don't know, drug their ass across the yard or did something, I want to hear about it. I'm just, you know, now I'm just being nosy and, you know, maybe it's a little immature, but hey, we all like to have a little bit of fun. If I run into you out there and you want to ask, I mean, I'll be happy to tell you on a one-on-one basis. And if you want to do that, do me a favor, click the link, call the phone number, whatever, let us come out there and shoot you straight. So thanks for watching. And oh yeah, I'm getting the wave from behind the camera. Like, subscribe, bell, doohickey and whatnot. And just do me a favor, follow the channel. I appreciate it, guys.